All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. Very happy to have the crew from Juno Infrastructure in the house. And the illustrious Tyler Sampson will be talking about AgileAsset and the shared model. So without further ado, take it away, Tyler.
Thanks. So good afternoon, everyone. Everyone good? Has it been a good day, good week? Sorry that we're at the end. But hopefully this presentation will excite you, maybe give you some interesting ideas about what we're doing in South Africa. So yes, I'm Tyler Sampson. Unfortunately, Thierry Leroy had to fly out today. So just a little bit about us. We were established in 2015 to meet the needs of infrastructure managers across a variety of disciplines. We're based in South Africa. We have a team of experts in software development, GIS, geomapping, image processing. The tools that we offer across the board, from fast and efficient data collection all the way through to the decision-making tools. And that's exactly where AgileAsset fits into the picture. Just a quick look at our some of the tools that we've been working with. In the top left, we have a 360-degree camera with a laser scanner. Very similar technology to what you've maybe seen with Google Street View, but it's, with the addition of the laser, you're able to reconstruct a 3D model up to about 100 meters if you're driving along your network with very, very high precision. So you'd use this in cases of your, if you need to do technical drawings, CAD drawings of your intersections, for example, and pinpoint accuracy of your assets. So it is a form of asset inventory to see what you own, perhaps pick up any missing elements, even down to the individual components of your assets. In contrast, on the right, we have a lower cost solution. It's a single camera. But with its accompanying software tools, we are able to also do very accurate data acquisition. So we try to address various different needs. You know, I'm sure everyone in the various departments are always asking, what assets do we really own? How can we control and monitor these assets? And we're really trying to push this in South Africa across, on the national front, across all the municipalities, all the provinces. And as you'll see as we progress, that there's a real challenge in trying to standardize and having a good model in which all the local municipalities can really use a system that the provincial level and the national level can monitor and control. Again, it's not only limited to roads. It's it extends to all your different assets, your rail assets, your dams, pipes, stormwater, and drainage. Really, your municipal infrastructure and even your utilities, electrical, water, etc. So just a brief history about South Africa and where we fit in and what we've been doing for the past 20 years. We form part of the South African Development Community, or SADC. It consists of about, I believe it's 16 countries now. We're the little country down at the bottom, not so small. It's comparable to the size of Texas, so one state. But even so, we're actually number 10 in the world in terms of your centerline length. These values are in kilometers. So we have a very large network and of roads, and then obviously your assets linked on those roads. So we have a very big challenge of trying to be able to assess the condition of those assets, being able to monitor them. Sort of just relating back to the States, and these are in miles, comparable to Texas, we're about the same size. But SADC, which is obviously the grayed out area, we are over 50% of those countries in terms of roads. So just a breakdown of those 750,000 kilometers. SANRAL, which is the South African National Roads Agency Limited, is a semi-privatized institution. They have 20,000 kilometers of paved roads, And you'll notice that, in fact, we have a very, very large inventory of gravel roads or unsealed roads. And those roads are not, sort of secondary roads that are not used. They're actually used every day, so they form a very important part for the users in terms of travel, and we need to maintain those. Basically, just a summary of how everything's managed in South Africa. We have 9 provinces. Within those provinces, we have 44 district municipalities, and each district municipality have about 5 local municipalities, so it's about 220 total. In addition to those, we have our major metropolitans, which is Johannesburg, Cape Town, Pretoria, and they do a lot of work sort of independent from the provinces and the municipalities. From a budget point of view, in fact, South Africa every year is always increasing their investment into their roads. And in the past, in fact, the investment was, in fact, a general expense. But you'll see later that we've taken, the idea that you don't use your road as expenses. You invest in your roads, you invest in your assets. So we're really starting to invest every year more money to improve the quality of our networks, to really start to assess the performance of our networks. So you can see, compared to the current 2016-2017 budget, where about $4 million was ring-fenced just for performance collection and monitoring. The following year, it's almost increased 10 times. So we're really focusing on performance measuring and KPI interventions. So we can have all the budget, but we have a real challenge with data in our country as well. We need to make sure that our data is accurate, it's complete, it's current. Is it up to date? Some of our data is from years ago and can be really out of date. Consistency is a big challenge as well, where the different agencies and the different provinces might have had different methods for their data collection, their data storage, and there's no real way to, it's a big challenge to consolidate that data and manage it efficiently. Compatibility, same thing, and credibility. How does it align with local knowledge and our standards and the typical values? Sometimes we'll receive data that's way off the scale and doesn't really make sense, and then have to reassess, etc. So again, old approach, limited preservation, repair the worst roads first, not a good idea. So again, invest in your roads, measure your level of service, and introducing multi-year maintenance contracts, where again, Agile, we see that it will play a very big role on that point. And again, the quality of our roads directly impacts the cost to the end user. If you have bad quality roads, it increases the travel time, it increases your fuel costs for the user, maintenance costs, replacement of tires and such. So it's another factor that we're trying to incorporate in this into our system to really produce reports that will help the end user, the public. So again, in terms of this data, you're getting it from your various sources. We try and do assessments on average every 2 years, depending if it's on traffic counts, accident data, visual assessment, and different surveillance. So our South African considerations, we need consistency. It mustn't just be a computer system where we just do inspections and we do nothing about it. We need a longer-term view. So again, the AgileAssets analysis modules play a very big role. And now we can start to monitor regularly, preserve our roads, especially improve our gravel road maintenance, because as you saw, it's a very big part of the South African infrastructure. So I'm sure everyone knows these questions. What assets do we have? What do we own? How much are they worth? What is the maintenance? What is the remaining service life, and what should be fixed first? Again, questions that Agile really help answer. In terms of the work that's been done in South Africa, the roads coordinating bodies, Our RCB consists of the Department of Transport for South Africa, National Treasury, the South African local governments, SANRAL as well. And they've done a lot of work in terms of setting up our highway manuals, our recommendations, our standards. So I'm just going to quickly fly through these, various subcommittees that focus on their specific disciplines. Then we've got basically two types of manuals, our recommendations, which are not for compulsory use, and our technical methods, which are for compulsory use, and they are the prescribed methods for our highway engineering. And we've really been working a lot in trying to integrate these manuals into our various systems, including AgileAsset, so everything will be standardized across the board. You can see a whole list of the manuals, everything from the coating, the painting, down to pavement management systems. The technical methods, again, we have manuals for visual assessment of roads, visual assessment of gravel roads, and a few extra other documents from the different stakeholders. So just quickly a few extracts from our manuals, just to give you an idea. Perhaps you've seen them before, perhaps not. Classification of our roads, how the different systems work together, how they will integrate. So these manuals are really from 20 years ago, and we've really been thinking of how we can integrate one unified system to help better manage our infrastructure. Pavement management system data, how that fits into the picture, condition surveys, how that fits into the picture. And just a few illustrations from the manual. So really we're giving really detailed examples of how to assess our roads with clear examples. Again, it comes down to the fact that we have a lot of lack of technical input into the system. So we're really trying to help everyone come across the board in a standardized manner and really help with their management of the infrastructure. This is a typical example of a visual assessment form. It was all done on paper. There are digital solutions, but then you'll come back to manipulating Excel sheets. It will take a lot of time to generate your output reports. So we'll show you in a few minutes how we're trying to automate that process and make it a lot quicker. Same thing for our gravel roads, big part. We do visual assessments and also technical assessments with specialized tools. But there's the manuals for that, directly impacting, again, the travel time, the impact of on the public. What's sort of recent now is the TMH22 manual, where we're trying to combine a lot of the previous manuals into a road asset management manual to really cover everything across the board. So it will be it's a comprehensive guide, and it's exactly what we're trying to implement into AgileAssets to cover everything from roads to bridges to stormwater and so forth. So again, technical capacity. We lack that a little bit, so as Juno, we're trying to uplift this point. We're trying to uplift the communities, trying to train them, and using the tools that we have really improve the data quality and the data consistency. Again, SANRAL has had and the DOT have been trying to fill the gaps, but it's limited resources. So that brings us to our 360-degree vision. Everything from the surveying and visual assessment, the top right, all the way through to your reporting, maintenance, repairs, safety and accidents. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of good presentations on safety. So really we're trying to cover a 360-degree scope. So where Agile fits into the system, again, you've got your pavement modules, and now instead of having everything in one maintenance module, for example, we've wanted to split it out into different modules. So we have a sidewalk module, stormwater module, of the bridge inspector and analysis, signals, safety, traffic lights, maintenance manager, just so each department can work independently, but we can monitor everything together. On top of that, again, your centralized database, your analysis modules, and then, of course, your portfolio analysis at the top. This is very important for us. Does that come out? Where we need a decision support system. This is very important for South Africa to help make decisions. So we have our political inputs, our KPIs, the various algorithms, and if you guys attended the workshop, you can see how useful the portfolio analysis or the old trade-off analysis can play a very big role. So I'm just going to quickly show you a short video of sort of our tools in action, just to give you an idea of how we're trying to streamline a lot of the processes, and then we'll dive into AgileAssets. So you can see there's our lower cost solution, the camera on top of the vehicle. The traditional method is we usually drove the roads. They would mark per segment on a piece of paper and come back to the office and assess everything. But using the camera and the software, we have integrated the TMH9 manuals, the TMH12 manuals for paved roads, unsealed roads, and very quickly you can assess your condition through a video log. The same thing for gravel roads. And again, it's not limited to roads. We can start capturing various other assets. And in fact, what you're building up immediately are spatially linked data. It can be immediately exported to shapefiles. We are working, we've sort of been in discussion for an integration directly with AgileAssets, where this data can be directly imported into your roads inventory, stormwater inventory, or maintenance modules, and have them appear immediately on the map. You can do very accurate measurements in the system as well. And it uses a combination, depending on what features you will use, of either a point cloud, very similar to perhaps what you've seen before, but otherwise it's just image processing. So the accuracy is not to a couple of inches, but rather perhaps a foot or two. It also can project your front image onto the ground plane, so you can have a simulated top-down view to do measurements. And again, it's just about capturing different parameters linked to your assets. And you can do that in a few seconds. And really the idea is you can drive one length of road, you can perhaps capture your condition of your roads, and then you can come back whenever you need to capture your sign inventory, your light inventory, and you can always come back as a sort of portal where you have your evidence for your condition data. You can see on that bottom left there that we've also imported existing GIS layers into the system, and you can view it projected onto the road. Very useful for maintenance and repairs. So if you have patrollers that drive after a repair has been done on a road or a sign has been installed, you can immediately capture that onto the system and have it appear, for example, in your inventory. And as well, evaluating the quality of the repair done. So we've only really started using AgileAssets 2 months ago, but we think we've done quite a lot of work thanks to Pascal and a few other members of his team. Why are we not getting that up? There we go. So again, the idea is we want to cover it on a national level. So the idea is to have one system where using administrative units, where we have our district municipalities, our metros, our local municipalities, each with their own section. And we really want to encourage the local municipalities to start using the software and have the data in a centralized place. Again, just an illustration of the different modules that have been set up in AgileAssets, as opposed to having a menu in your maintenance management, for example. And depending on the different departments that log into the system, they'll have access to their respective modules. And I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of this before. We have our sidewalk inventory linked directly to the maps, our road signs inventory. So coming back to the pavement and the visual condition assessment, we've been trying to do some interesting things here. So again, we've got our road segments linked to the linear referencing system and the map. And now coming from the camera that you saw before, you'll now immediately have the images taken for that road segment uploaded and linked to that assessment line, for example. So you can really correlate your evidence, your attachments, your photos that were taken by this camera into AgileAssets. We've also started playing with some scenarios. Again, the engineering side of it, the decision trees, the treatments haven't been completely set up by no means, but we've been having some interesting outputs. You know, we can see a worse first situation where we have a linear decreasing condition versus our optimized solution where it starts to taper off. So it was quite nice to see that. But again, the challenge is working with the various departments and getting the correct data. Again, although this is for the pavement, the idea is that we want to expand the optimization and the analysis to stormwater, to your signs inventory, perhaps based off of your expiry dates or your estimated degradation of the sign itself. So we're really trying to push for analysis across the board in different modules, and that's why we've separated it into different modules. Again, you guys have seen the dashboards before, your worst first versus your optimized solution. And again, each municipality or each district or each province will have their own dashboard as they log into the system, and now they can really have an up-to-date view of the condition of their network and the infrastructure. And again, we really want to have a sort of real-time dashboard using the camera data. So every day or every week, even every month, we can have an up-to-date view of the condition of the network, and we can monitor it as it decreases or increases, improves. So we really want to push that across the board. So the ultimate goal, again, agencies have to plan first inside their disciplines, their bridges, their pavements, all the different infrastructures, create our work plans in the different modules, not limited to just pavements or bridges, create your optimized work plans, and then using your portfolio analysis across all these modules, not just one or two, to really achieve your best level of service. If there is any information, there's lots of additional resources on these links, and yes, these slides will be available to you guys. But otherwise, feel free to email us. We'll be happy to answer any questions you have, not even necessarily relating to this presentation, but feel free to contact us. Any questions?
First of all, thank you Tyler, for being here. And I know you guys got plenty of questions. They came all the way over here to answer all of our questions. All right. All right, Barry.
So as you roll this out, how do you train on such a large scale?
So it is a very big challenge, in fact. From my side, I don't know of any initiatives for training, but the idea is in the various municipalities, we want to establish sort of small bureaus where each local community will be trained to use the system. Again, I don't really have a lot of information on that, but we have thought about it, and again, it's a big challenge.
All right, who's next? All right, Aaron.
It's a great presentation. I'm curious, you're sort of more on, you're a private consultancy, correct?
That's right.
So you have all of these potential clients, correct? All these different municipalities and so on?
Yes.
You've done a lot of work to configure the software in anticipation. Do you have a lot of these under contract now?
So in fact, one of our bigger contracts is the Johannesburg Road Agency, where we've been doing a lot of work based off of that. Again, it comes back to these sort of highway manuals and standards, where it's on a national level, not just on the provincial level. So the idea is that we're trying to configure the system based on these standards, working with our actual contracts, to have a sort of out-of-the-box solution for the other local municipalities, and coming sort of a top-down approach. And they can just sort of use the system out of the box.
Good stuff.
Thanks.
Anyone else? All right, thanks, Tyler.
Cool. Thank you.